This is something I should have done years ago. For years, you guys have been seeing us push cars around, which update, you keep asking about where's the rest of the cars. It's the middle of winter, so they're all hiding in a garage somewhere. We didn't sell anything or do any mods to any car that you guys do not already know about. Update over. This garage has like a huge slant down to the driveway. Sometimes it's hard to drive a car up here in the middle of winter, let alone push a car. So there's been a lot of times where I have spent a lot of hours and manpower just trying to get a vehicle into the garage. So I finally caved. I got a winch. We're gonna install this thing on the floor. We're actually gonna install it here, and on the trailer. Today will only be right here though, because that's what we need right now. The trailer we can do another day. And I'm just trying to get a jump start because the key guy for the Genesis is gonna be here first thing in the morning. So we're making a ton of progress already on the Genesis. We will get to that in a minute. Let's unbox a nice cheap winch, shall we? We got a rope so we don't lose the hook. It came with exposed fuses. Holy shit, dude. Thing's huge. New winch, baby. A winch is one of those things that because it's cheap, it's just huge. Like, that's huge. So we're gonna have to build a plate to mount the winch to mount the winch to the floor. Thankfully, I have this big ass metal plate. This is the same stupid piece of metal you see me use every time. It's like 1/4 inch thick. What are the chances you think that I can roll this thing outside without starting it? Because I just hate starting it like 25 times a day and then not driving it anywhere. I just feel like it's not good. Oh no! The tip of the paint pen's gone! It's over. He's dead. Aha! Actually nailed that first try. Probably could have made it narrower, but I want to be able to put the bolts and be able to just easily do it and undo it, you know what I mean? We need to find a faster and cleaner way to cut metal. Because I like making stuff, but I hate making a mess. I really don't know. Like a plasma cutter, I feel like that might not be what I need. What do you guys think? I need help. This is messy. I'm over it. At least it's good metal, right? This Sharpie is dead center in the garage, so if it does, right about there, that gives us like a little bit of room behind for cables and stuff.
I think it'll look nice. It actually like blends in quite nicely.
Yeah, well, I'll paint this up too. I didn't paint it yet, we gotta get it mounted, but we're just gonna do this. R.I.P. to the beautiful forest. All right, this actually came out really well. So I bent these little brackets up in the front to hold on the fair lead, which you guys saw how hard it was to bend those. This is, it shouldn't go anywhere. And this is perfect because now I can, like I said, I could drill more holes on that side of the garage, but I could also put something on my trailer. And whenever I want to remount it, I don't have to fumble it, flip it upside down. I just unbolt these 4 bolts, pick it up, move it, bolt it into the new place, and it's good to go. We're gonna test that out in a minute. Right now, we're gonna get started with the main portion of today's video, which actually is starting on a very positive note. Haha! Key guy came by this morning and cut a key for the Genesis. He was like a mobile key guy. I called him yesterday and it was funny because I was like telling him the car's a little dirty. He knew exactly what this car was without me even telling him. He's like, is that a red Genesis?
Is it a red Genesis?
Yeah.
I see it. I seen it all the time when I was driving by.
And I was like, yes. So he came out this morning, he cut up a key for the Genesis, so we are good to go. We can actually turn the steering wheel and make some progress. Previous owner brought me by a door, which is cool because that window's not down because we didn't have a key. That window's down because the window regulator went, and he said he bought that whole door for less than just the regulator. So that's good news. We also learned this is a 2011 Genesis because he found the ownership. And final piece of good news. Oh, well, that works. Actually, there's two pieces of good news. First one, oh, this is such a gross car, is nobody lied to me about the mileage. 158,000 kilometers. I was told it was at 160, so it's nice to see that we're on a streak of telling the truth with this car so far. And the final thing that has happened in the last like 2 days since you guys saw me, dude, what is going on with this? I don't think the door locks work very well. He got me a cylinder head and cams and a timing chain cover and stuff. Dude, it is so cold. So basically, so far, everything is actually going really, really well with this Genesis. We kind of are all on the same page with leaning towards just doing a motor swap. However, you guys know that it's a pain in the ass to have a dead car. So he did give me a cylinder head. If the timing chain let go at idle, which does that ever happen, in just hopes of even getting the car running, I'm gonna try and pull the head and see how this thing looks. Oh no! The tire has a huge gash on the side of it. That is not gonna help our breaking the rear wheels loose situation. It's our first bad news of the day. Okay, now I just don't trust that wheel, so you and me both, we're getting out of the vicinity here.
Oh!
What?
It moved a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit. Ah!
Oh, yes! The wheels aren't breaking loose. You want to just try and send it with the garage winch?
I sure do. I sure do. You know why? I want to be in that garage. I can be in there, right?
Yeah. We did it, baby. All right, this speaks for itself. Shop winch is an absolute game changer. This car has entered a new chapter of its life. Let me show you what we're working with. So this is the new head that the previous owner's son brought over the other day, along with the door, the ownership, a bunch of good stuff. He basically pulled this off a junkyard car because he was hoping that the bottom end would still be fine and the top end would be okay. You guys can see it's all scored up on the cam pretty good. And it doesn't maybe not look bad on camera, but it is. My fingernail in a glove gets stuck moving across that. It's super groovy. So that's like a huge oil starvation issue. Just was low on oil. I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those situations where it'll work. If you're gonna go ahead and build an engine, you're gonna wanna fix that. If you're just trying to make it run, then I mean, it's gonna run. Intake and everything is pretty nice. Then over here, that to me doesn't look great. To me, this looks like the piston made contact with this, which is what I'm worried about. Okay, stop, I'm trying to film, dude, shh. I believe I showed you guys this a little bit in the video where we bought the car. This is already undone. Underneath here, timing chain, gone. Tensioner's probably gone. The cams themselves, like the lobes, don't look bad. Who knows how up it is under there. And you can see the oil looks like it needed to be changed. But you know what? Like, I'm not gonna judge this because this car's been sitting open for so long that might not be someone's fault. That might just be how it is. While I start tearing into this thing, go down in the comments and let me know your favorite engine swap for this car. I would love to K-swap it, but not a single person has done that I can find. So we would have to basically engineer everything. LS swaps are cool. They're the most common swap for this car, I think, because it's a big body car. And other than that, I don't really see anybody do anything cool with these. So this thing's gonna need a swap regardless. But if I can get it running even for a month, just so that we have a running car, and we can start doing mods on it and stuff, start working on it while we wait to start an engine swap or something, I'm into it. put the hood down because I was only planning on doing fluids, but once it started going up, figured we may as well give the underside of this thing a look. And to be honest with you, I really like what I see. I don't like that guy, but that guy can go. Chassis-wise, absolutely mint. Going in dark. Wish me luck. I've got my hand on the cork. So I was taking things apart, as you do when you're trying to strip down an engine, and I came over here and this looks like an HKS blow-off valve. It's kind of gross and you can only see it from like the wrong end. This thing's barely on here, dude. Oh my God. Aha! Look at, there's a whole freaking piece of core. And something just decided to start draining after all this time. It looks like it's in the middle of coming out of the AC condenser. So that thing's probably hooped. Thankfully it didn't explode on me or anything. That's gross. There's no catastrophic failure in here, so I guess that's good news, right? This might work, this might not work. Little test, if I take this out. Tensioners are supposed to be one-time use. Once you like take this off, it should continue to grenade to keep tension on, should continue to expand, and then you can't get it back in. So if I do this, oh, there it is. You guys see that? Just going in and out like that. That is hoop. We found the problem. But I guess being that this just, I guess over time started to lose it, one, he probably knew this was happening. He could probably hear it. But two, it didn't like explode or fail all at once. At least I don't think so. So there is a decent chance that the bottom end of this engine is still okay, in that it was just running like a bag of dicks and nothing was working right because the timing was so off. Oh, there goes that. So now I can either sit here and look at it for 20 more minutes. Sounds like a decent option. Or we dig into it. I will say though, like the Korean engines get a lot of hate because they have a lot of weird things and issues, which is true. They did do a lot of cool things, like this hole right here leads straight to that bolt on the intake manifold. Like if this was a Nissan, they would have blocked that off and they would have welded like military grade piece of steel right here so that you couldn't get to the bolt, because that's what they do. Whereas at least this engine was actually really simple to take apart. The only weird thing I just realized is that the head studs are Torx. Not bad, Korea. I know you gave up on them, but not bad when you were trying. Did that one f***ing strip? Is that what happened when it was in there? If that's stripped, this whole thing's Good morning. Apparently this is a super common problem. I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like I definitely should have known better. Just because I put on this mechanic shirt does not mean I'm a real mechanic. When I bought this car, I told you he gave me a cylinder head. So when he was giving it to me, he said, hey, just so you know, these are Torx. If I never said anything like the 3 minutes before I f***ed up last night, everything probably would have gone fine. But because I explained to you guys that it's Torx, and you guys already rampaged in the comments, stop, it's too late. I was using a T55 because that's what it looked like. These things are full of oil when they're actually in the car still, obviously, but it's a 12 point. So a Torx is basically a 6 point, so every other point is empty. And so it's a lot more common for them to strip. Somehow I broke all of them loose and only stripped one, which is, I don't know how I pulled that off, but I managed to. So I took this to the store this morning, did pick up 2 different bolt extractors. This one I got because it has deep sockets, so hopefully it'll fit into the head. This one I got because this looks like the better option, to be honest. I think I used to have 2 of these and I have no idea where they went. I don't know if I gave them to someone or if they broke. I have no idea. So, okay, that's That's a 16. I'm hoping that we'd be able to hammer that on. We have to get this on that guy. Nope. Okay, well, I feel like, legally, I feel like this has to work. Dude, that is the exact size. We are back in business, baby. Let's get this thing out of here. Look at this. So there's coolant in here, but that's from me pulling it and some of the lines draining into the top. I was expecting way more mashed potatoes than I was served. First of all, I still think this is a better head. You guys can see even just looking in here, like all the scoring and stuff that's going on here. This, if you wipe all the dirt out, actually way better condition. Even like the valve caps, these are all normal colors. These are all burnt and dark. The underside will tell us a little bit more information. That's gross. I don't even know what that's just yuck, I guess, being in there. Other than this being dirty, again, even the bottom of this is in good condition. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really didn't expect that to be that clean. I was hopeful, I kept saying I would like it to be fine, but I didn't expect it to be. Because like again, when a timing chain goes like that, unless you notice or you hear the sound and you like diagnose it immediately and then stop driving it, which nobody ever does, usually you do damage. And I just find it hilarious that he gave me an entire head because he's like, well, the timing chain let go, the head's gonna be hooped, and the head he gave me is in worse shape than this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, we still had to pull all this because the tensioner is junk. And we have to, for safety measures, look in here, but this thing might qualify for a rebuild. I noticed something else that I would like to take a better look at when I was disassembling this. Well, here's the loose blow-off valve that I was not thrilled to find. I wanted to pull it because it's completely black. It looks like it was painted and then the black is just coming off, which is weird. I don't know if you can buy these black, I really don't know. But it's still caked in oil. Like, there's so much junk on this, it's not even funny. And I don't understand, it's coming out of here. There's not supposed to be that much oil blowing back out of it. This clamp was in the worst place known to man. Couldn't get it undone when this was in the car, which was very annoying. That's why I left this stupid boot on the whole time. This has to be the smallest turbo I've ever seen in my life. Dude, this thing is like more of a natural breeze than a turbo. Feels fine. Doesn't feel wiggly at all. This is a 10 mil socket, just a cheap Mastercraft 10 mil socket. That is the smallest turbo I've ever seen. I mean, the turbo doesn't look too bad then. I was just worried because I was seeing some oil, but obviously there's nothing to be majorly concerned about. So the baby turbo is doing okay. Obviously it needs a little bit of a cleanup. You know, something I find funny is a lot of times if you ask someone for advice like, yo, should I wear like a blue shirt or a white shirt? And if they say a white shirt and then you wear the blue one anyways, they'll be like, dude, why would you do that? Sometimes when you ask for advice and you get an answer, it makes you really feel what you truly want. So for example, with this car, I was like, okay, we're gonna tear this thing down and we're gonna check out what's going on with it. And as long as the engine is rebuildable and replaceable, we should be good to go and we will just reassemble everything and move on. To my surprise, it is able to do that. I totally thought we weren't gonna be able to do this. The head's good, the turbo's all right. The bottom end is great, aside from pulling the pan off, which would require me to pull the entire motor out of the car to check the rod bearings. Everything I can see is actually in good shape. I can go ahead and rebuild this and make it run and do what I said I was gonna do. But now I don't know if I want to. Now that I have that option, I don't know how I feel about it. To get this redone now, the entire head needs to be completely cleaned. Full timing chain kit, we need a full gasket kit, we need all new head studs. We're gonna have to rip the bottom end off and check on those bearings. There's probably a couple things worth machining or like replacing. Even the pulleys are hooped, dude, like so rotten. That's not something you could clean up. That, like the whole pulley needs to be replaced. You guys can see all of them look like this. Like every single pulley is just absolutely toast. I just don't know. We're at the point right now where I genuinely don't know what to do. I could go buy an LS engine for the amount of money it's gonna cost me to rebuild that one. It'll probably cost me some money to rebuild the LS. We're rebuilding an LS, not a Hyundai Theta motor. This video was only ever gonna get to here today. We were gonna have to get it to this point to order parts to rebuild this engine if that's what we choose to do. I'm not gonna leave you guys with a challenge today because I already gave you that little bit of information about like when you're feeling something and you ask for someone's opinion, how does that make you feel? That's something that you can use in your lives going forwards. I don't need to double give you advice or challenges today. So that's it. I need a nap. I'm excited to see you guys' feedback, and I'm excited for you guys to be a part of this build and help me make a decision. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and stay committed, damn it. You guys are always bugging me, asking for updates. What did I do while I was gone? This is the only mod I've done while you guys are gone, all right? It's a quick release, rugged ridge thing. It's actually really sick. I started getting tickets for not having a plate, so we